Topsy Turvy Theatre is a children's theatre company. I started it nearly 11 years ago with a blind ambition to want to create work for children aged 2 to 7 using puppets, energetic storytelling, fantastic costumes, which has later developed into being fabulous waistcoats. We use original music. We've started incorporating Makaton into the shows, and there's times when you can join in with that. We tour libraries, schools, theatres, anywhere that'll have us telling our stories to 2 to 7s and their families. I am a performer in the company. I'm the person that decides which shows that we do. I do all the admin. I lump all the scenery around. Bit of a jack of all trades. I wouldn't want to say master of none. I feel like I'm all right at some of them. 2020 was going to be our 10th year anniversary. 10 years as a small theatre company based in Castleford. It was a pretty amazing thing. In those 10 years, I created 7 touring shows: Ruby Flew 2, The Lost Present, Isabel's Well, Christmas is Cancelled, Katie Saves the Day, Christopher Nibble, Christopher's Caterpillars and Christopher's Christmas. I had lots of plans wanting to celebrate with the freelancers, and then the coronavirus, the COVID-19 pandemic hit, and everything just stopped overnight. Doors closed, curtains down. It was a feeling of just absolute powerlessness, just at a loss. How do you plan for things that have never happened before? And all these fantastic freelancers have got all the knowledge and understanding and the loyalty of my organisation that have helped me build it for the last 10 years. And I can't provide any work for them. And they need to put food on the table. They need to earn a living. For me, it was like, if I lose all the people that I regularly work with on a freelance basis, like, it will be so hard, like almost impossible in some ways to rebuild. Yeah. It's over. You're not gonna make your 10-year anniversary. You're not even gonna know if you got a job, and you'll have to start again.
It wiggles and jiggles.
Feeling powerless in the pandemic, I don't think is a unique feeling that I had. I think we all felt it. If I'd have shut the doors on Topsy Turvy Theatre during a global pandemic and said, that's it, I don't think anybody would have batted an eyelid, but there was something in me that wasn't ready to say goodbye to it. So I decided I had to fight for it. I applied for some funding for an emergency grant, and upon getting that emergency grant, it gave me the confidence actually that, do you know what I have achieved in this almost 10 years, it is good, it is valuable. And look, the Arts Council has said, we agree. There was no putting a band-aid on this. This needed long-term thinking. It needed a long-term strategy of how we were going to survive the pandemic as a small organisation like me that is really struggling to earn any money. I applied for a cultural recovery fund. It took a lot of work and I got it. One of the main criteria of the Cultural Recovery Fund was sustainability within the arts. And that's something that has always been at the core of Topsy Turvy Theatre. And I could show, over the past nearly 10 years, that my business model worked. It's been sustainable. But I didn't want that sustainability to just be financial. I wanted everything that we did to also be creatively sustainable, artistically sustainable. Anything that we did had to make the company better.
My favourite part was when Katie found the letter from Father Christmas.
I decided early on that I didn't want to just jump into the online theatrical movement that was happening, because everything was going online, and I'm not passionate about making films. I write for the stage, and I like to perform on a stage in front of people that I can have a reaction to. We had a really busy Christmas plan ahead. We wanted to do lots and lots of live shows. It became apparent it just wasn't going to happen. I realised I was going to have to step outside of my comfort zone. I was going to have to embrace more of the online offering, but I needed to adapt with purpose.
Hi everybody, I'm Claire from Topsy Turvy Theatre and this comes to you from my front room. Well, 2020 has been slightly different to what we're used to. Normally, I'd be getting ready to tour around the country with one of our Christmas shows, but we have to do things a little bit differently this year. Starting on December the 1st, Topsy Turvy Theatre and all our team will be bringing you an advent calendar filled with activities.
We had a selection of themes to build the advent calendar, and every day children could watch a new little something on YouTube.
When we perform, we need to make sure that our voices are clear and loud so that everyone in the audience can understand every word we're saying.
We shall be powering this LCD watch by nothing other than this lemon.
And when you've filled your baking trays, it's time to fill the holes with our smashed up sweets.
Even when we were able to create work, one of the things the pandemic took from us was the ability to sing. We decided that this advent calendar was a perfect opportunity for us to be able to sing. We created music videos of some of the Christmas songs from our shows.
There's bunting in the air, so much left to prepare. A tray of mince pies for everyone to share.
4 Brussels sprouts,
3 mince pies,
2 reindeer toys,
and a locked down theatre company. You make a home for nesting birds and bugs bees. You're not all wire and plastic like the other trees. Put your hands up in the air if you love Christmas time.
everybody.
Put your hands up now.
When else would I have the opportunity to create a music video? So it just felt like a really nice thing to do and a fun thing to do, and we had a blast doing it. And the Advent calendar culminated in a 15-minute rod puppet version of Christopher's Christmas that was designed specifically to be filmed and shown online.
Santa! Father Christmas! You found us! You found Dandyville!
Yes, I did. I was worried for a while. My Santa nav was broken and I couldn't see anything in the dark and cold night. But then I saw the most brilliant, bright light from a tall Christmas tree.
This was released on Christmas Day, so it was like, yay, happy Christmas, here's a little puppet show to watch. It was done to a really high quality, but it was so simple, was really in keeping with our ethos as a company, and it felt like the right thing to create at that time. Our priority was always going to be to create live theatre, but we realised that we weren't going to be able to do as much of it. So we were really, really grateful that we did have the opportunity to create a small tour. The last week of term, we did a socially distanced version of Christopher's Christmas, where we went to schools, and in order for them to watch in their bubbles, we performed the show twice so that the children could rotate. We also created a mini version of The Lost Present that was designed to be outside. An opportunity presented itself to us to work with a charity called CAF, and they were creating this winter wonderland and they wanted something theatrical, but they needed something super short, shorter than we would ever have normally. So I cut away everything in The Lost Present. It just got, but actually this 12-minute version of the show is just so magical. Over the space of 5 days, between the four of us, we did 105 shows approximately to audiences of a maximum of 2 families at a time, so that as many families as possible were able to come and access this work in the open air where it was safer.
The grandma of the group, she was completely welling up and was just saying, you know, thank you so much, I love the set, I love all the props, and it's just absolutely made my Christmas. And that comment at 9:30 in the morning in the cold made my Christmas, so it was lovely.
Families are really loving it, and it's just so nice to be able to do our job again after so long.
It's been a very tricky year for CAFT. This year has been focused on families coming outdoors. And so what we really needed was a show that could work outside in our beautiful woodland space, that families felt safe coming to see, so it was socially distanced, but also was suitable for them because our families all have various different needs. So the fact that there's Makaton used in the show and it's very gentle and welcoming has been perfect for our families. It's been really, really magical.
Some of my favourite moments have been when I've seen a young person light up when we've started to use some Makaton signing for them, and also their parents or carers or their brothers and sisters turning to them and saying, oh, they're signing, these are your signs, and they can join in with us.
A little girl wished for me, so I must try and get there. But oh, will you help me on my journey, everyone? Will you? Oh, thank you.
A really big part of how we were going to move forward and adapt to the changing landscape and create online work was including Makaton. We'd started a bit of a Makaton journey quite by accident by being part of Wakefield Wordfest. Makaton is a form of signed language that allows people to communicate with sign and symbols that aids verbal communication. What just started as we were going to Wordfest, we wanted to include some Makaton because it was relevant, because the libraries had been using it as well, actually has started forming a really important strand of Topsy Turvy Theatre's work moving forward, which has allowed us to create some of the online content that we needed, because we've started producing story sign videos, each one for the different shows, where children can see some of the key vocabulary that we are using in the shows. They can watch them beforehand or afterwards, and they can practice. This Makaton journey was one that I didn't want to just go by myself on. I wanted to include some of the freelancers, so the Cultural Recovery Fund money allowed me to invest in upskilling the freelancers as well. Having thrown everything, including the kitchen sink, at Christmas, there was no rest for the wicked, because the work continued. We still had lots of things that we wanted to achieve in our Cultural Recovery Fund activity period, and that included reworking a lot of the shows for the post-pandemic period.
So you would go off, so it's, I bet I can beat even you, Rufus! Come on then, eat my bubbles! And then you just wait, let her go as she goes, because you're going to let her get on. She's going to shove it there, and then so you're like, oh yes, I bet we can. Wait for us, Ruby, you're so fast. Wait for us.
You don't have to be a big superstar or drive around in the flashiest car. Just remember that you're great as you are, because you're already special.
The coronavirus, COVID-19 pandemic has just been devastating to the industry. I'm still here with Topsy Turvy Theatre, and we have worked so hard over the last however many months to continue providing the work to children. Things are starting to change. We wouldn't have been able to be in the position that we could start even thinking about taking these bookings in 2022 if we hadn't have done all of these things in 2020 and 2021 to make sure we were still here. The pandemic started as I was approaching the 10th anniversary of Topsy Turvy Theatre, but now I find myself approaching the 11th. Didn't think that there was a way out of this, it was all over. And actually, you know, a year on, a little bit more than a year on, we're still here, still making stories, and you know, I think if the pandemic has taught us anything, is that there are so many stories to be told, so many people that are ready for stories. You know, I can't wait to be able to get back out there on a more regular basis and just see little faces or big faces light up when they come and watch a Topsy Turvy Theatre show. So watch this space, get those tickets, watch the Makaton videos, and yeah, we'll see you soon.
You